Understanding spawns is one of the most important things for competitive Call of Duty. Today, I'm going to be going through a few small tricks and tips that you guys can use now to help you understand spawns and kind of the overall concept. Number one is simply just playing the game. But whenever you're playing, let's say you're playing hardpoint, right? I think the first thing you can do to really understand the spawns is every time you die, just take a quick mental note of where you spawn, okay? Let's just say you're beginners, you're just starting to play. Don't worry, don't overcomplicate the game. Just think mentally where you spawn and what the hardpoint is, okay? Every hardpoint has a set of spawns. So the first thing I want you to do is just think, all right, where do I spawn? And after a while, let's say you've been playing for a while now, but you're still not at that level where you naturally know where the spawns are. Now you can go to level 2, and that is going to be watching the CDO. If you watch the pros play on YouTube, the Call of Duty League, what you're going to see is a mini map on the bottom right, okay? And this is the Codcaster perspective. So when you're watching the pros now, you can really focus on where they spawns, okay? Because spawns are super important in terms of like what's going on. So what you want to do is just study the spawns. There's not that many spawns in terms of overall. You only have a couple of maps to worry about, and there's only a set amount of spawns, okay? So once you do it, I know it looks overwhelming at the start, but you get used to it. And now you understand where the spawns can be. The next thing is about understanding the concept of spawns, okay? So what happens is people think that when you're standing at the back, you're holding spawns. What you're actually doing is blocking spawns. When you block a spawn, the opponent can no longer spawn there, okay? So let's say you're blocking the spawn on, say, P2 Skyline. You're at the back of P2 and you're blocking that spawn. The opponent can now no longer spawn there, so they're going to spawn on the other side of the map. Now what happens is, imagine if the opponent now comes towards your spawn. You're both blocking that same spawn, but you don't see each other, right? What happens is the game then says, okay, both of you are blocking the spawn. What we're going to do is we're going to activate another spawn, and this is known as an emergency spawn or a secondary spawn, okay? And what happens is you have a parallel spawn. So parallel spawns only take place when somebody from both teams are blocking the existing spawns. I think that mindset shift is really important, because most people think that when you're standing at the back of the map, you're holding the spawns. You're not actually holding it, you're actually blocking the spawns. So now you know where the spawns are, you know that you're blocking the spawns, you are now giving the game no other option besides spawning the opponents on the other side of the map in the other spawn. And now you can manipulate the map a bit more. What you want to do at all times is make sure you're kind of playing ahead of the game, okay? So let's say there's about 20-25 seconds left. On most hills, you actually want the opponents to spawn at the back of that hill now, which counts as a good spawn at the start, but now it's the bad spawn going into the new hill. So whenever you watch a good player, what you're going to realize is good teams is they kind of rotate early, but they also trap the opponents at the old hill. So you want to give the opponents the old scrap time, and you get majority of the new time. So always stay ahead of the game, and it all comes with 1, understanding spawns, and 2, manipulating them, okay? So make sure you watch the pros, you practice them, and you'll be much better at hardpoint, and the game will come towards you, and it will feel a lot easier.